All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Flight School for Saturday, May 11. All right, folks, we want to welcome everybody to our flight school. I know I've got my partners on here. I got Mark Kisscart. Mark, where you at, brother? Let's see that smiley face.
Because you gotta, for some reason, the sharing on the video, you gotta hand the host back to me. Well, let me claim it, and then I'll share my video, and then I can go silent again.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that. Yep, absolutely.
Boom, there we go. Can you see me?
Boom!
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, how are you, brother?
Doing fantastic, man. Yeah, I'm excited. We've got a massive, cool, incredible training today.
We sure do. We absolutely do. And we've got people on from all over the place. I was just checking out the chat. We got good mornings and good afternoons from all over the world. Pennsylvania, Utah, Santa Rosa, California, South Carolina, England, Jamaica, everything. I love it.
Who's on from Santa Rosa besides me?
I don't know. they put in their initials. I thought it was you, actually, tell you the truth.
Okay, no, it wasn't me.
There you go. Oh, Susan Hampton is on from Santa Rosa.
All right, Susan, right on.
All right, way to go, Susan. All right, man, so why don't you take us out of the gate today? I know you got some things you want to share, and let's get everybody in gear for this incredible training. I'm glad that everyone is here and appreciates the value of plugging in. You know, there's so many people out there who've been in the network marketing industry, the direct sales industry. They've tried it for years, haven't had any success. And one of the biggest reasons people don't succeed is because they don't plug in, right? And I call those folks, Mark, I call them too cool for school, right? But you guys are not too cool for school because you're here with us and we're ready to rock and roll.
All right, let me start sharing my screen. And let me go full screen. Boom. All right. Good deal. You can see my screen?
Sure can.
Excellent. All right, man. We're going to go ahead and take off. So we're taxiing down the runway here. I think we're cleared for takeoff, so let's go. Boom gear. That's where we always start. And so there's a whole bunch of new stuff coming. And I've been checking in with Tunde. I think he's got it in. I know that we're updating the store right now. So get your boom gear. And if you do have any questions or anything about your order, when it's going to arrive, go ahead and email gear@iboomerang.com. Gear@iboomerang.com. You'll see it right there on the screen. Here's what you don't want to do. Don't email support@iboomerang.com. And the other thing,
or T. Gray.
Yeah. Or Mark, for that matter. And you guys have been good. You guys have been real good, and I'm proud of you guys. You guys have been doing all the right things. Everybody has a case at the DTRTs, so that's good. And go ahead and get your boom gear. Some things are in limited supply. And it says it on the site. And right now, where we have the link is at boomgear.com. Boomgear.com. And we're centralizing a lot of these different sites right now. And so boomgear.com is going to be located on a site that we're going to talk about a little bit later. And we're going to be starting to centralize a lot of the information. Okay. All right. Anything else on boom gear, T. Gray? Because it looks like you're all boom geared out today.
Well, actually, I need you to let me show my video again. I stopped it, and now I'm not the host anymore. So
you can't stop that. You can't.
Yeah, I know. Now I can't show off my boom gear. But while we figure out how to let me show myself again, I'll just tell everybody I've seen the boom gear boxes being delivered at our Houston offices for iboomerang, and lots of cool stuff is coming in, and a lot of cool stuff's being designed. So boom gear is where it's at. Show your boom gear pride. Okay. Oh, I can show my video.
There you go.
Get to show my boom gear. Boom gear. Check me out, everybody. All right, cool. All right, Mark. Thank you.
Back to me. Don't turn off your video camera again. All right.
I won't do it again.
All right. Cool. Like you were saying, too cool for school. All right. And I got my boom gear on too, man. I'm repping. All right.
There you go. You're repping.
All right.
Good
deal. Now, what's going on today? Now, we've got Holton over in Puerto Rico. So if you are anywhere near, what?
I was talking, sorry.
Okay. So if you're anywhere near Puerto Rico, get yourself over there. And, listen, there are people I know that are flying over there and going to Puerto Rico. And I just want to give a hats off to those folks that are traveling, because last week, I know, T. Gray, you were in Chicago, and we had somebody that drove over 1,000 miles to come see you and Peter in Chicago. Who was that person?
It was awesome. That was Karen and Sorterio. I don't know their last names, but Karen and Sorterio from Washington State. They drove literally across the country to get to Chicago. I'm just so proud of those guys. And we had a lot of folks do that. We had Shannon. He and his group drove 4 hours from Detroit. And we even had some folks drive from Colorado. So it was really cool. And I love the way that the iboomerang family appreciate these events so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And not only that, the ones that seem to travel the furthest are the ones that get the most out of the events. The ones that are local, it seems like, they because they're local, they end up maybe showing up right on time or a little late. So bottom line is get yourself, if Holton Buggs or T. Gray or Edwin Haynes or Peter Hirsch or David Manning are anywhere near you within, a 500,000 mile radius, you need to get there. These events are life-changing. And for the folks that made those sacrifices and got there, they are the ones that, are really making the sacrifice to build their business big. And a lot of you guys are on the call this morning too. And, I love it. Out here on the West Coast, the left coast, it is, 6 a.m. So, anybody who's out here on the left coast, and you know what, we have people all around the world. I guarantee you there are some people, it's 1 o'clock in the morning where they are right now. So congratulations and hats off to you. So if you're near Puerto Rico, get yourself there today. And you are going to be absolutely amazed. And I want to give a hats off to the leaders over there too. Diamonds, Talita, and Daniel Camaro have been working that market now for since we got kicked off, and since before we got kicked off. So that is their spot, and I just want to give them a huge shout out. And they're doing it right. They're building in advance. So good stuff. Okay.
Absolutely.
Moving on. Whoops. There we go. Hashtag good. We've got a new one today. We've got a new hashtag good. So light up the chat. Who knows what hashtag good means? Who knows what hashtag good means? We've had a couple of folks actually be hashtag good, and I'm not gonna move on to there we go. Now we got the chat. All right, folks, rock and roll. So I need to. I've got a video. I've got a video to show this morning. Okay.
Nice.
So hold on a second. Let me grab my video. And
I bet it's a good video.
I think it is a good video. So let me show this good video here. And it might be a little bumpy and all that, but you know what? We're going to put it up on our Facebook page here this next week. So watch for it. And let me go ahead and show it here.
Hey, iboomerang Nation. My name is Keisha Monk, and I'm coming coming to you from Maryland. Just wanted to share with you my good get out of debt story. In support of the Good Project, I have utilized my first few weeks of profit to pay off over $700 in credit card debt. Now, for those of you who know me, you know that I love my designer purses. So this is a big feat for me, and not going to the Louis Vuitton store and buying a brand new Louis Vuitton, but instead choosing to follow the leadership and utilize my profits and pay off my debt. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Boom! How about that?
I totally love that. Oh my God! You know
Yes.
what? I think Holton started something with this good thing. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People are paying off cars. So now we have two different people who paid off cars, and now we have somebody who's paid off some credit card debt. This is happening. I love it.
It is, and hats off to Keisha Monk. You know, she likes her purses, but you know what? She is going to. She's paying down her debt with the iboomerang profits that she said she had. So great job to Keisha. And you know what?
But you know what, Mark? Those purses, you enjoy them so much more when you fully own them.
That's right.
Right? You know, when you're not carrying around the bank's purse.
That's right.
Think about it. Way to go, Keisha.
That's right. Yep. And I know that you carry around a lot of the purses that you own yourself too, T. Gray. So good job.
You know, I feel like I really opened myself up to that. Yeah, I felt it coming. I knew you were not going to let it go by.
I was not.
And I owe you one, bro. I'm coming for you.
I could not let that one go. All right. So if you do have a good story, a hashtag good story, go ahead and send that over to me at marketing at iboomerang.com. Marketing at iboomerang.com. All right. Next, so listen, we've already talked a little bit about it. Do you have a case of the DTRTs? So go ahead and let me know. What's DTRT? What's DTRT? There we go. Doing the right things. Doing the right things. I'm telling you, it takes me about an hour and a half to put these slides together for the DTRTs. So
really?
Yeah, there's so many of them. There's so many of them. And you know what? Keep them coming. I hope it takes me a full day next time to put them all together. So you guys are absolutely just knocking it out of the park with the DTRTs. And you know what I'm really proud of? I'm proud of you guys because you guys are doing the good parties, So I've got some notes because there are so many of you, and I want to be sure I get all of this right. The names right and everything else. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. All right. I'm ready. I am ready. So in the top left corner, we've got Francis Siebold, and this is his second meeting in Nigeria. So we've got folks in Northern Africa rocking and rolling. So it's not his first, it's his second. And you can see all of the folks over here in the event. All right. Then we've got, oh gosh, I've got the name covered up here. And we've got Travell and Shulanda and David from Georgia. Those are the two right pictures up there in the right-hand corner. And it looks like they're in somebody's living room right there, right? And he did say, Travell did say that he's got people, or he's working in a couple of different cities throughout Georgia and southern Georgia. So hats off to you, Travell. Then we've got Kevin Stanford down here in the left. It's got a group of folks. Looks like they're laying down the iboomerang sign. So fantastic. Boy, you guys are lighting up the WhatsApp. Holy, my phone keeps going off. So Kevin down there with his crew. And then we've got Carly and Christina in St. Louis. in St. Louis over there. So let's see here. Who else do we have? And I've got this thing in the way here of, there we go. Oh, okay. So it's Travell and those folks. Okay. So let's go on. Let's move on to the next one. All right. We've got Tanya McGee, Tina and Shelly. And you know, again, we're in somebody's home there, right? And again, this is where the business is built. It's built in the living rooms and dens of the homes. And then you can move into bigger locations. But look, I like those recliners there. I wish I had some recliners like that where I could kick back and we can watch the eye decide. I think that's probably what they're doing there. And then down here, yep, down, whoops, hold on, got to go back. Sheesh. This thing's that window is in the way. All right. Then we've got the folks in Dallas. We've got Cosmos and JP and Marion Johnson. Well, Marion, actually, she is the one here on the lower right, and she's the one on the left-hand side. Let me tell you a little bit about Marion. Marion Johnson is from Cincinnati. She went and utilized her iGo site to fly from Cincinnati to Dallas because she had somebody showing up to one of the events there in Dallas. So hats off to you. Yeah, she's getting on a plane using her iGo website, her booking engine, saving money while she's traveling, and also building her business with her iGo travel platform and utilizing her iGo travel platform to support her in building her business. So hats off to you, Marion Johnson. So again, Top Gun spotlight. Marion, you're making it happen. You're doing the sacrifice and making the thing happen. So excellent job over there. Okay, next one. Okay, we've got Spencer Iverson. So this one came to me the other day, and I had not put it up. It was a couple weeks ago, and so he's got a group of guys here. And all of these guys are in the NFL. And so what he said here is he said, I've known these guys for years. He had to have a security guy at the restaurant to block the autograph seekers. But he said sitting around that table there, he said he's got 8 Super Bowls, 10 Pro Bowls, and 1 Hall of Fame candidate. So hats off to you, Spencer. Great stuff. Awesome job. Then we got William Haynes over here. These two.
Oh, and you forgot one person at that table.
What's that? Who's that?
And one ibüümerang diamond. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Spencer. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Spencer
that's right.
Yeah, that's even better than the Pro Bowl, isn't it? All right.
Yeah, because you know what? You can make NFL money without the pain.
That's right.
without the concussion.
That's right. Nice. That's excellent. All right.
You don't have to have 300-pound guys beating up on you to make that kind of money in ibüümerang.
Right on. Good deal. Okay. And then we've got William Haynes over in South Carolina. Those are those 2 pictures over there on the right-hand side and at the top. So it looks like, again, he's got a nice size group there, and he is rocking and rolling throughout South Carolina. And then finally, we've got some folks here. We've got, who do we have here? Well, I got the thing in front of me again. There we go.
I love this, man. This is just so amazing. I mean, you know what this basically says? The ibüümerang family is in full effect. Everybody is just out there in all-out massive action. All-out massive action May is right. On and popping. I love it.
Yep. So we've got Marlesia and Brenda in Buffalo. We got Andrea in Harlem. So we've got those 2 folks that are rocking and rolling in New York State. We've got Pastor Fred Duke and his Pittsburgh team there. Again, nice group of folks down there. And then we've got Laura Hammy here. And again, in the living rooms and the dens. So they're doing what are called good parties. Okay, they're doing good parties. Now, some people are calling boom bashes too. So good party, boom bash, whatever you want to call it. Fantastic. Great job, guys. Keep rocking and rolling and keep sending these to me as well. And what I need is this, when you do send it, go ahead and let me know, first of all, where you're at. Give me your name, and then send me the pictures, because in some cases here, I don't have where the folks are. But go ahead and do that. Send that to me, and I will get you up on the Top Gun Spotlight on Saturday morning flight school. Okay, last but not least, for sure not least, Diamonds on the Move, and I wanted to highlight Daniel and Talita Camaro again. This is where they took a picture of being in Puerto Rico prior to Holton and Earlene Buggs getting there and doing the Super Saturday. So Talita and Daniel, you know, hats off to you guys. You guys are doing a fantastic job. You know, you're all over the place. I mean, I see these guys not only in the US, but then I saw him in Mexico last weekend. Daniel did all of the translation with Holton on stage, and he did a fantastic job there. And then I know that he was back in the States working his business day in and day out with Talita as well. And then they're over in Puerto Rico this week. And again, making sure that they've got good parties happening all over Puerto Rico prior to the Super Saturday event. That's how you build. It starts small, right? It starts in your living room. It starts in your den. Then it gets a little bit bigger. And then you maybe you know, move from house to house, and then you need to get into a little bit bigger venue potentially. And then, you know what, you're building for the bigger events, and then you're moving into like what Cesar is doing here on the right. You're moving into a much bigger location, you know, and this is Tijuana, and Cesar Munoz is a diamond here in ibüümerang, became a diamond in his first month, just like Daniel and Talita Camaro. And I remember the first Tijuana event. The room was a quarter of that size, a quarter, maybe even less than that, maybe an eighth of the size. As a matter of fact, I'll bet you that he was only in living rooms when he first got started out there. And now what you're seeing is the bottom line is he's gotten into a much bigger location, and now the living rooms and the dens won't hold him. The living rooms and the dens are too small, and now he's getting into much bigger venues, and because it's growing so fast out there in Tijuana. So hats off to Cesar Munoz. And, you know, last month, I don't know how many cities he's been in this month. I know that he was over in Pachuca last Saturday. And this was, I think, in Tijuana earlier this week on Tuesday. And so I just know he is going from city to city, city to city. And he is growing his business massively. And not only that, you know, Cesar has helped many others get to different levels in ibüümerang. And that's the goal here. The more people he can help achieve their goals, the higher the levels he's going to be able to attain in ibüümerang. So hats off to Cesar. And again, last month, I think he made it to 14 cities in 27 days. 14 cities in 27 days. That did not include all of the other meetings that he was doing, the Zoom meetings that he was doing, and others. So hats off to Cesar Munoz for just leading the way and leading by example. And again, you know, the speed of the team is the speed of the leader. And I just know that the folks that Cesar is helping are rocking and roll and following in his footsteps. So congratulations. Okay. Now, if you've got, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Time out.
I couldn't wait for you to get to this one.
Yeah.
This one's exciting.
It is.
I'm watching this one with just sheer anticipation from week to week.
Yeah, me too. And Renee Young, you know, 104 customers last week. And I was on the training last week, and I was still saying it was 104, and then she said it was 109. I don't know what it is today. So if you're on here today, Renee, go ahead and give us an update on how many customers you have now, because you continue to add customers. So I think, how many days has it been for us? Has it been 60 days yet, T. Gray?
You know what? Today makes 60 days.
Today is 60 days. So listen, 109 customers in 60 days.
And she said it's 110 now.
110. Okay, there we go. Good job. All right. You know what? 110 customers in 60 days. We don't have any excuses. If you don't have your 10 yet and you've been in for 60 days, you have no excuse. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So, you know, and it's not so crazy because Renee, I'm sure she's out there and she is sharing the benefits of traveling better for less. I mean, who does not want to travel better for less? I mean, every time I've asked somebody and I've said to somebody, I said, you know, hey, would you like to travel better for less? They give you that look like, are you crazy or stupid? You know, it's, you know, come on, you know, of course I want to travel better for less.
What kind of question is that, Mark?
Right.
No, I like to pay more than I need to. Right,
Yeah,
exactly. It just makes so much sense.
Then you're the wrong person if you want to pay more. And then you walk away from those people. So bottom line is this, Renee Young, we need to get you on the Saturday morning flight school training so you can teach us and teach all the other, the flight squad how to go ahead and get 110 customers in 60 days. So we'll do that. We're going to do that. All right. And by then you'll probably have 120 customers. So great job to you, Renee. And fantastic. So, and also folks, if you have customer stories or you've got the DTRTs, a case of the DTRTs, go ahead and send me that information to marketing@iboomerang.com. Give me your name, give me the location, and send me a picture. And I'll go ahead and get you up here on the Top Gun Spotlight on Saturday morning flight school. So, but again, also, I want those customer stories. So get me those customer stories so we can start highlighting the customers as well. Okay, moving on. I don't know what we have here next. Okay, hashtag just different. All right, well, cool. Well, look, you know, everything we're doing here is hashtag just different. It's the vision, it's who we are, it's what iboomerang is about. Our philosophy is give out goodwill and don't expect anything in return. And, you know, doing just that is hashtag just different for a lot of folks. So, you know, the philosophy here, I love it, you know, and I have to just pause here for a second and, you know, kind of speak from the heart a little bit here because I've never been involved in a company like this, not on the corporate side, not during the startup phase that I went through with helping multiple startups, and not in the network marketing industry. We've got something here that is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's just a joy and a pleasure to be able to work with people like T. Gray and be led by and have the whole entire organization led by Holton Buggs and Earlene Buggs. We've got our GMA, Edwin Haynes. The team doesn't get any better than this, ladies and gentlemen. I've worked with some really good teams, and it's just doesn't get any better than this. And that's why it's just hashtag just different. And we're doing something that has never been done before. We're turning not just one industry, but two industries on their heads, and we're disrupting. You know, Uber IPO'd this past week, and you know, they were a disruptor, a massive disruptor in the industry. And I can't say enough about being a part of something that is, again, hashtag just different. T. Gray, anything to add?
No, man, we are rocking and rolling this morning. We've got a great training lined up for everybody, so we're just powering through.
Right on.
I'm just enjoying all the excitement on both of these chats and my WhatsApp. I got all these devices going over here with all these excited people just hitting me from all sides. I love it.
Excellent. Well, cool. Well, hey, you're up, man. Updates from the flight deck. Yeah.
All right. Hey, all right, guys. So this is T. Gray from the flight deck, like I said in the videos. And I just want to let you guys know that the big project this week has been getting everybody into the dual team. And that project has been going along swimmingly. Yes, I just want to say we're super proud of all of our leaders who got an opportunity to layer people in first, and now the dual team, the binary, is open to everyone. And we have literally put thousands of people into the dual team from the holding tank. So you guys have been doing absolutely fantastic. So now it's kind of in an automatic cascade mode. So basically what happens now is as soon as you have been placed in the dual team by your sponsor, then it opens up your ability to place the people that you sponsored into the dual team. So now it's in that automatic mode. So if you don't have, and the way you can tell, by the way, is you log into your back office and on your dashboard, all the way to the right, if you look at the white strip that says dashboard, reports, etc., all the way to the right, you're going to see one that says placement lounge. If you see placement lounge, then you are clear for takeoff. You are clear to place your people that you personally sponsored into the dual team where you want them, on your left side, on your right side, and in the order that you want to. Now remember, this is a one-time opportunity to do this, because come Monday, we're turning this off. We're going to auto-place everybody who hasn't been placed by timestamp, right, by the time that they've enrolled. And then come Monday, the only choice you will have is bottom left or bottom right. So we want you guys to take advantage of this opportunity. We want you, of course, to be careful. There's a warning that pops up when you place people. It says this is permanent. We really mean that. We can't entertain all the changes. Oh, I meant to put these folks on the left. But they should have been on the right. Listen, that warning is there for a reason. You can't proceed. It gives you a chance so that you can just double check yourself. So make sure you do that. But let's go ahead and get finished up, guys. You guys can do it. So check your back offices. Go on your dashboard. If you see placement lounge and you have enrolled some people already, go ahead and place them, and then let them know. Shoot your personally sponsored people a text message and tell them, go ahead and place your people so that we can go ahead and get finished. But we'll have everybody placed by midnight Central Time on Sunday so that we can rock and roll. So in any event, folks, that's the exciting news that we have from the flight deck. And the question, of course, that people are asking is, well, okay, well, if people are on standby, can they be placed? Absolutely, they can be placed too. We can place every single person that you've enrolled. We can place them in the dual team, in the binary. So let's get everybody in position so that we can rock and roll. All right, so Mark, I'm going to take over the screen sharing at this point so that we can dive into our flight school. And I just got this massive update from our technology developer that says that everything is just going great. So proud of that. And by the way, the folks that have come over from Traverse, you guys are going to be in the dual team today within a couple of hours. And once you guys are in the dual team as well, you're going to want to go right into your dashboards and place any of the new people that you've enrolled since March 11. You're going to want to go ahead and start doing that. And you'll have the ability to do that within the next couple of hours. I also want to let everybody know that people who enrolled this week, right? So people who enrolled starting from Monday, I think Monday was the 5th, they are now in the placement lounge so that you can place those people as well. So we're now in full blown, get everybody in the dual team mode so that we can have everybody effectively placed by midnight. So that's the update from the flight deck. Let me just check this chat here, make sure I can answer anybody's questions before we get going. Everybody's good. So we're clear for takeoff on today's training topic, right? So here we go, guys. This is an exciting month. You guys know that this is what? All out massive action May, right? So we're in this mode of all out massive action. And what we learned last week from our flight leader, Mark Kifkart, we learned about the zones, right? So one of the cool things about this company, you know, and by the way, Mark, check this out. People have been asking me, right? I'm doing calls for people, and someone's asking me, you know, what makes this company different than this other company or that other company? And now everybody wants to do travel since we're doing travel. So they want to know. And I said, look, let's assume all the companies were the same, which they're not, but let's assume that they were. iboomerang has something that these other companies will never, ever have, and it's the leadership. It's the leadership. See, amateurs will chase comp plans. Oh, their comp plan is this, and this comp plan is that, and you can make more money at this aspect or that aspect. That's amateurs. Pros don't chase comp plans. Amateurs chase products. Oh, this company has a better juice. That company has a better skin cream. This company's travel thing is this or whatever. That's amateurs. Pros don't chase products. What pros chase is leadership and vision. I mean, just think about the venture capital world, right? In venture capital, this is where companies have responsibility for millions and millions, sometimes billions of dollars to invest in startup companies. They're looking for the next best great idea to put money into. But here's the thing. They don't invest in the idea. Somebody could come with an incredible idea. You know what they invest in? They invest in the leadership. That's why they have an expression, don't bet on the horse, you bet on the jockey, right? Because, and they will pass on great ideas because they have crappy leadership. Well, here's the deal with iboomerang. We have the best leadership in the world. We've got Holton Buggs, and you cannot match that. His success is unparalleled, and that would make him the person that you would want to learn from. I know he's the person I want to learn from. And he's surrounded by people that he's been coaching and mentoring for years, for decades even. People like our global master ambassador, Edwin Haynes, and Mark Kithcart, and myself, and Cesar, and Jose Luis, and all these other folks who were just totally crushing it, right? So with that leadership team, folks, literally, we could be selling peanuts and this would still be the best company in the industry because you would be learning how to succeed from the absolute best. So what does Holton have us focused on right now so that we can be successful? Well, he has us focused on an organized way of building. You see, Mark, I had dinner with a couple last night and they wanted to know what was it that you learned from Holton that made all the difference? Because I was a professional guy coming off of a successful corporate career, but I couldn't make network marketing work. Well, here's what Holton did. He taught me the business of network marketing. And that's what we're teaching you. We're teaching you the business of network marketing. So one of the things that he taught us is to work it in zones. So there's 3 zones for the month. There's the first 10 days are the white zone, massive exposure. The second 10 days is the blue zone, massive sponsoring. And the last 10 days are the red zone, massive volume. And what happens in the white zone? Exposure. So we're getting everybody we can to take a look. Can you write those 3 words down in the chat, everybody? Take a look. See, one of the challenges in network marketing is people don't understand what they're selling, right? They're selling sign up. We're not selling sign up. We're selling take a look. We're sorting people out. We're looking for the people who are looking. So how do you find them? You say, take a look at this. And then they can find out if it's for them or not. So sell, take a look, right? So how do they take a look? They come to an event. They get on a Zoom. They go to a good party, a boom party, whatever folks are calling it, right? You know, good parties, we like to call them good party in the States and on all the English-speaking countries. The Spanish-speaking countries like to call them boom parties. Another way people take a look is they watch an iDecide, and iDecide works. Mark, I popped in on the Houston meeting this Thursday because we had rock star Tanya, Mizell, Joseph in Houston, and the folks that came out that braved the floodwaters, got really blessed by Tanya's amazing presentation. And there was a young lady sitting right on the front row, and afterwards she came up and she introduced herself to me, and she said, hey, you know what? I got started from the iDecide presentation. She watched the iDecide presentation, and it was everything that she needed. So by the way, those of you who do not have iDecide, you want to definitely upgrade so that you do have an iDecide. You guys know who you are, all right? Okay, so that's the white zone, but guess what? Today's the 11th. So now we are officially starting the blue zone. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about a blue zone success tip that will totally change your business, that will totally increase your volume. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, in the blue zone, what we're doing is we're taking all of those people who've been to an exposure, who have taken a look, and the ones who didn't get started right away, because by the way, most people are not going to start right away. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move them to the place where we can get them started, get them sponsored into our amazing company, ibüümerang. They can get started at any level, right? Because we're gonna in the massive volume phase, we're gonna teach them the value of upgrading. So if they don't get started at first class, it's okay. We're gonna show them the way in the last 10 days of the month. But what we're gonna do in the blue zone is we're gonna get them in, we're gonna get them sponsored, we're gonna get them on through the fast start training, and we're gonna teach them to have a level of success. Now, so what do we have to do in the blue zone to get all these folks that we exposed but didn't get started during the white zone into the game? Well, we got to follow up. So one thing I want you to write down, and perhaps you've heard it before, is this: the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up, okay? And it's amazing how in every company that I've ever been in, and I know the same thing happened, you know, over the last decade with Holton, and even already happening with ibüümerang. We've got people who contact the company and say, hey, I want to get started, but the person who exposed me, I can't find them, right? So listen, guys, you got to follow up. Now, when you follow up, what's happening is you're following up to create a resolution, right? Here's what I want everybody to type in the chats. Okay, I want to see it on Facebook. I want to see it on the Zoom chat. Here's what I want you to write. You guys ready? Finish what you start. Write that. I want to see. Finish what you start, right? And that's what happens when you expose someone and you get someone into process. You want to finish what you start. You want to get to a resolution. And there's only 3 possible outcomes. This is what you're trying to get to, and it doesn't matter which one. They are all equally good. You ready? That person needs to become either a TSA. They join the business, they become a member, they're gonna build a customer base and or a TSA base, okay? Or that prospect becomes a customer. They are gonna become a boomerang customer and use our product and move through the customer life cycle of curiosity, confirmation, and confidence, and then become a customer of other things as well that ibüümerang brings them. Or thirdly, they will give you a referral. You know, if someone says, no, I'm just totally not interested in joining your team or becoming a customer, don't let them off the hook that easily. Say, great, no problem. Who can you refer me to? Who do you know that does like to travel? Who do you know that would like to have another income stream? Would you mind making an introduction? Would you mind pointing me in the right direction and supporting my business that way? So those are your 3 outcomes: in the business, customer, or referral, right? Now, how do we get a person to that outcome? Well, this is the magical tool that will transform your business. That is called a 3-way call. And that's what we're really going to dig into in detail today, the 3-way call. And, you know, one of the things that I love about the time and era that we live in, Mark, is that a 3-way call doesn't even have to be just a typical phone call, right? You know, that's how we came up. You know, it was kind of the only way to do it, which was a 3-way call. You get 3 people on the phone at the same time. But this could be a 3-way Zoom, which gives it a little bit more of a personal, you know, flair, because now we're actually, you know, face to face and looking at each other. So definitely it's great to see the different types of technology that we have that we can work with. But this is the ibüümerang Blue Zone Success Tip. We're going to talk about 3-way calls, right? Now, here's the thing. In terms of who gets on a 3-way call, these need to be qualified prospects. So what do you mean qualified, Tigre? How do they qualify for a 3-way call? Well, the qualification is they have to have already been exposed. They've either seen an I decide, a Zoom, they've been to a good or boom party, they've been to a presentation. The presentation part is out of the way, right? Otherwise, this is a waste of time for the person, the upline expert who's going to help you with the three-way calls, because now they've got to go over the basics. They really shouldn't have to go over the basics. They should have already been covered. This person should have already been exposed by seeing the business. They should have already done what? Taken a look. Okay, I'm going to switch headphones here real quick. Mark, check that out. It's only 8:45, already burned out the headphones. All right, here we go. Sound check. Can you hear me, Mark?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. Fantastic. Okay, cool. All right, so how do you put together a successful three-way call? Well, actually, a successful three-way call starts before you put everybody on the phone, right? So it starts by you finding out from your prospect what the areas of concern they have are that are keeping them from getting started right away, okay? Now, we don't ask people what their objections are, right? That's just like asking somebody to be negative, right? You just want to say, what are your areas of concern, right? Now, sometimes what they're going to tell you is they're going to say, oh, well, I just need to think about it, right? Well, this is where you need to learn a little bit of skill, right? Because you want to find out what it is that they want to think about. So, what you just say is okay, well, no problem, but those things that you need to think about, can you tell me what, the areas are that you need to think about? Like, for example, do you need to think about the financial aspect of it? Do you need to think about how the money works at ibüümerang? Is it, the time involved? Is it that you maybe tried this type of business before, you didn't succeed? Sometimes you got to help them tell you what's on their mind, because once you find out what their areas of concern are, guess what? There's nothing that we can't address. There's nothing that we can't, help a person to understand, right? So let's find out what those concerns are, because what you want to do is you want to give your upline expert who's going to do the three-way call for you what they need to know so that they can be successful, all right? Now, by the way, when you're finding out these areas of concern, there's a magical thing that you need to do in order to get to the nitty-gritty and get down to what the real thing is, right? Can anybody guess what that magical thing is that you need to do in order to find out the areas of concern? I want to see, well, the Facebook group's a little bit behind in terms of the time lag. So Zoom group, you got to tell me, what is it? Let me see. William Land, you win the prize. That is the one thing right out of the gates. William got it. You got to listen, right? Now, in order to listen, what do you need to do? I promise you, this is not a trick question. In order to listen and find out, what is it that you need to do? I just showed you. That was your clue. Stop talking. Exactly. You got to shut up for a second. Stop talking and listen. And you know what? Here's what you'll find. You ask the right question, you stop talking, you listen, and then people will tell you exactly what they need in order to get started in the business, right? So now you communicate that to your upline, right, in a separate conversation. Hey, look, you know what? Let's suppose Mark Kithcart is your upline, right? I'm just using this hypothetically, right? Or maybe Renee Young, who's out there crushing it with customers. Maybe she's your upline, right? Or maybe it's Sam and Kim Bean or Bev Finnern or any of these folks, right? So here's what you do. You get with them and you say, hey, look, I have this person and here's who they are. Here's the kind of person they are. Here's what they've done. Give them just a good amount, the right amount of background information. And here's what they've seen, right? That's very important. I know, when I'm helping people with three-way calls, I like to know, what have they seen? Have they seen the I decide or have they seen the Zoom? Two slightly different presentations, right? Or have they been to a presentation? Have they been to a boom party or a good party? So you communicate that, and then you say, here's what their areas of concern are. Now, by the way, when you are giving your upline expert the background information on your prospect, please, I beg of thee, do not over-edify your prospect. Mark, I tell you, one of the most painful things is listening to somebody go on and on and on about how amazing this individual is and everything that they've done, or worse, if they send it to you in WhatsApp, it's an essay. It's a 3-page essay about this person's background. And I just want to tell you what, guys, don't get so caught up and enamored with who your prospect is and what they've done, because we're not trying to get into their business. We're trying to get them into ours, right? So just give us the bottom line, the bullet points. What do we need to know so that we can know who this person is and communicate with them effectively, okay? Now, let me tell you why 3-way calls work. 3-way calls work because of something called the success triangle. And the success triangle is really quite amazing, right? Because you have these 3 people who are gonna end up on the phone or on a Zoom to answer questions and to solve these areas of concern, okay? So you have you, of course, you have your prospect, the person that you have exposed, and then you have your expert, your upline expert, which, by the way, who does this have to be? Does this have to be your upline diamond? No, it could be your sponsor who's been in the business 48 hours longer than you, but who's sponsored several people. And your business is bigger than yours. Great, fantastic. They've had a little success. We can get them on too, right? It can be anybody. Now, here's the thing. The relationship that you have with your prospect is your prospect has trust for you, but they might not have respect for you, right? Or they might not respect you in this particular area, which is one of the reasons why they didn't sign up right away, okay? But what happens is you're going to introduce them to your expert in such a way that they have respect for your expert. The same, because you're gonna demonstrate that you have respect for your expert, which causes them to have respect for your expert. Now, they might not trust your expert because they don't know them, right? But they trust you. And so when you bring these things together, that trust and that respect, that's how you create success. Okay. So now you see the relationship between you, your prospect, and your expert. And now what happens is we bring everybody together in a way that creates success. Okay. So now here's what happens. You tell your prospect, right? Hey, I got some great news. I got some great news, Mark. Remember, so you took a look at our business and you liked it, but you had some areas of concern. And remember when you were telling me that, here you are, you're a successful executive, in what you're doing, and you like the business, but you're just not sure you'll be able to make time, find the time to be successful here. Well, listen, I want to share this with you. I actually was talking with Edwin Haynes, and Edwin Haynes is, he's been very, very successful in this business. His business is actually several times the size of mine. And he actually has come from, being a successful entrepreneur in other things and found ways in his own life to manage the time and make it all work. Well, here's the cool thing about it. Edwin told me that if I ever met anybody as sharp as you, that, he'd love to take, maybe about 5 minutes or so to meet you on the phone, and that I should put that, person like you on the phone with him. So I was able to get some time with him, but I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this so you don't have to worry about, getting on the phone with Edwin. Edwin is not a salesperson. He's got a very successful business. He's not going to get on the phone and try to sell you. What he wants to do is he just wants to kind of have a chance to talk with you. He wants to be able to share his story and how he's overcome some of the same things that you've overcome. And that way we can make sure that you can complete your evaluation of the business and be able to potentially make a decision. Does that sound cool? Well, awesome. Great. Now, one thing I want you to do when we get on this call with Edwin is just make sure that you're really clear about what your concerns are and that you're able to express them clearly so that we can have a super productive conversation. Okay. I hope you guys got that. Definitely make sure you go back and you watch this recording so that you can learn how to properly tee up the 3-way call. All right. Well, now it's the time and the date for the 3-way call. And by the way, when should the 3-way call be? It should be not more than 48 hours from the exposure. Ideally, it's not longer than 48 hours. I mean, seriously, somebody says, I need to think about it. Give me a week. Who needs to take a week to think about this? It's just a delay tactic, right? So you really want to tee this up for within 48 hours so that we can kind of get down to the nitty gritty. Because what's our goal? We want to finish what we started. We want to get to a resolution. We want to find out if this person is going to be a TSA, a customer, or give us a referral. And folks, let me give you a success tip for your psyche. Get to the place where you are cool with any one of those three outcomes. Where any one of those three outcomes is okay with you. Where get to a place where you are not vested in this person has to join my business. Folks, stop saying, man, if they get it, this person does, they can blow it up, right? Stop telling people, oh, you'd be so good at this. Because all you're doing is you're projecting your need onto folks, right? Let me relieve you of something. Write this down in your notes. There is no one person who can make or break your business. There's no one person who can make or break your business, right? So when you do that, it's going to change how you approach people, right? And it's going to stop some folks from slobbering all over folks and making them withdraw, right? It'll allow you to have what I like to call professional detachment, right? Where you're just exposing people and you're looking for the ones who are looking, okay? All right, so three-way call time. So here's how you do this. You call the prospect first. You call them 2 or 3 minutes before your scheduled time, okay? You got Amy Seaver. She's your expert, right? She's a diamond, in this particular case, and she's agreed to do the three-way call for you. So here's what you do. Amy, maybe Amy has agreed to do the call for you at 3 p.m., right? Well, at about 2:55, 2:58, you call your prospect, okay? So let's suppose your prospect is, we're going to keep using Mark as our prospect. So let's suppose your prospect is Mark, right? Call him up 2 or 3 minutes before and say, hey, guess what, Mark? Okay, so like I said, I was able to get some time with Amy, okay? And like I said before, as I mentioned to you before, Amy's a pro at this. She's been a successful businesswoman. She and her husband have built great businesses, and they've actually been able to be very successful in this industry. And in this, in ibüümerang, her business is actually several times bigger than mine, and it spans over multiple countries, okay? So that's how I'm doing that. I still haven't called Amy yet, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call Amy. And I'm saying, okay, Amy, I've got Mark on the line. But here's the thing, Mark is still on hold. Where's Mark? He's on hold. Why? Because never call your expert with your prospect live on the phone. Why? Because your expert might not be ready to take the call. They could be in a meeting that's going over. They might be transitioning from one call to the next call. So you want to make sure that your expert is solidly ready to engage this to engage this call. And once they do, then you get everybody on the line together. You connect the calls. Okay. Now here's what happens next. What happens next is you introduce everyone. Okay. But now notice the shift, right? So I'm not going to call Amy anymore. I want to demonstrate to Mark that I have respect for Amy and the business that she's built and her level of accomplishment in the business. So I don't want to de-edify her by being overly personal, right? So I don't want to say, Amy, this is Mark. I don't want to say Ames, this is Mark, or whatever, like I call Ed Haynes at our GMA, I call him all sorts of things, because we're boys, right? So I call him, Eddie Haynes, I call him, what's up, GMA, all that kind of stuff. But if he's doing a three-way call, it's Mr. Haynes. If Amy's doing a three-way call, it's Mrs. Seaver, okay? And so now we get into Mr., Mrs., and Ms. And for some of you, that means you're going to have to get your ego out of the way, right? Get focused on the, you know, on the main thing. And so the reason that you're doing this is it's not about you and it's not about your expert. It's all about this prospect, and it's showing this prospect that they need to, you know, to respect this person. Okay. And so that's what you want to do. And you definitely don't want to over edify the prospect, because then what you're doing is you're telling the prospect that they're more valuable than your expert. And now you have broken the triangle. Okay. So now I'm going to say, hey, so Mark, we've got Mrs. Seaver on the line. She was able to make some time for us today, and I'm really excited and grateful for that. I've already told you about the things that she's been able to accomplish, Mrs. Seaver. This is Mark that I was telling you about before. And by the way, did you notice I said Mrs. Seaver, but I said Mark? See, I've got a lot of respect for Mark, and I want Mark in my business, and he's been very successful. But I'm setting the playing field in a way, psychologically, subconsciously, so that Mark can really just appreciate the dynamic here. So I'm like, you know, so Mark, this is Miss Seaver. Miss Seaver, this is Mark that I was telling you about, and you know, I wanted to get you guys on the phone so that Mrs. Seaver, you could help Mark, you know, get through some of his areas of concerns about iboomerang. Now, the next thing that I need to do is very critical. It's so crucial. You guys ready for this? So hard for so many. I gotta shut up. I've made the introduction. Mark is on the phone to talk to Amy, not to talk to me. So I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna be quiet. And if you're one of those people that being quiet is hard to do, put your phone on mute. Put your phone on mute, so that in order to interject, you have to take your phone off of mute, and that gives you a chance to think about it. And if that's too hard for you, put your phone on mute and sit on your hands, right? But whatever you do, don't interrupt, because when you interrupt, what you're doing is you are now de-edifying your expert. Okay, now if your expert asks you a question and calls you into the conversation, definitely respond, but do not interrupt, because your expert understands you've given them the areas of concern so they know which way to go in the conversation, and your expert knows that their objective is to help get that resolution. Help Mark either become a TSA, a customer, or give us some referrals. All right, so that's what we want to do. You want to let your expert do the talking. You want to let your expert do the listening. And that's how you use this power tool, right? And by the way, who uses three-way calls? Everyone. Everyone. We do three-way calls for each other. The diamonds do three-way calls for each other, because it's really about getting someone on who's got a story, who can relate and help that prospect get to that resolution point. So that's how you do a three-way call, folks. This is a power training. I want to make sure that everybody knows where this recording is. Listen to it over and over and over again, because now we want to challenge you. And we're in the blue zone. Let's take all of the people that you've exposed to the business over the last 2 or 3 weeks, because I know folks have not been getting three-way calls. And now let's get them on three-way calls with your expert. Let's tag team everybody, do three-way calls for each other, and let's see how many folks we can get to resolution for massive sponsoring in the blue zone and getting ready for the red zone on the 21st to the 30th, the last 10 days of the month, which is where we upgrade and we do our promotions. And speaking of promotions, Mark, I know we've got a promotion that you just announced with a powerful video yesterday. Why don't you take everybody through that? I've stopped sharing so that you can resume screen sharing if you'd like to.
Okay, hold on. Before I do that, that right there, the chats are lit. Dude, they are lit. You know, I have to say, T. Gray, you are one of the best trainers that I have ever heard in this industry. There's a couple people that trump you, though. There's one man that you learned all of this from.
That's right.
That we all learned it from. And you know, of course, he's the master. The other day,
I'll be his grasshopper any day.
Yes, we all will. You know, it was funny because the other day after Holton's call, there's a gentleman named Mike Healy. He sent an image of Yoda after the call, and he had transposed Holton's face into Yoda, and
right.
it would have been more correct. bottom line, T. Gray, wonderful, wonderful, incredible, on point training for where we're at right now today, because three-way calls are the key. And I took pages and pages of notes. You know, a lot of you, I think, you know, are maybe listening in and, you know, thinking, okay, I'll go back and watch this again and listen to it again. You know what? You need to get into the physical act of writing into a journal. And because the physical act burns it into your brain even more. And so there's a couple of things here that I just want to touch on that are so critical. Not one person who can make or break your business. There's not one person who can make or break your business. That right there was solid gold. And, you know, there's so many people, oh, I've got the guy. This is the guy. And I hear it all the time. I know you do too. And a lot of you leaders on the phone here, and it was music to my ears for you to say that, because in my network marketing career, I did that. I said that exact thing. I thought to myself, this guy is going to be the one. And you know what? I learned a hard lesson that person wasn't the one. And actually, you know what's interesting is the ones that you think are, don't, and the ones that you think won't, do. So pretty incredible stuff there. So, and then the last thing, you know, T. Gray said, you know, hey, if once you get somebody on the call with your expert, go ahead and just stop talking, right? And listen. And and take notes, right? Because you are going to be doing three-way calls one day. But here's the key. He said, and if you can't not, you know, stop talking, go ahead and put yourself on mute. Here's what I'll say: put yourself on mute. If you're on a Zoom, put yourself on mute. If you're on a call, just put yourself on mute. Don't say a word. You know, it's happened to me in the past when I was doing three-way calls where basically the person came back on and said, oh, you know what? Tell them about this and tell them about that, you know?
Oh my God.
And they bought it back. They bought it back is what they did. And the person didn't end up getting started. And that's happened several times. And, you know, there's a coaching moment there with letting them know that there's a reason why we're telling them what we're telling them. There's a sequence of questions and answers that we need to go through. And if we think that is important information for you, for us to bring up, we will bring it up. We'll do that. Okay. So anyways, this training, absolutely incredible, and timely. So again, you know, 1st through the 10th, massive exposure. The 11th through the 20th, the next 10 days, massive sponsoring, three-way calls. If somebody hasn't made a decision, three-way calls are the way to get that done. Let me go and grab my, hold on. Let me grab my, well, where did I put my slides?
Hey, well, while you do that, while you grab your slides, thanks for the kudos. And, you know, one of the best things that you just said is, when you're doing a three-way call, when your expert's doing a three-way call for you, you take notes, right? For a couple of reasons. Number one, you definitely want to, you know, capture what's important or what your prospect releases into that three-way call. That's important that you're going to need to remember in order to help them with their decision that they make. But also, that's how you learn to do three-way calls, like Mark said, right? That's how we learned. You know, I remember Holton was doing a three-way call for me one time, and I just pulled my car over to the side of the road, Mark, and I sat there and I wrote notes, and my notes were really funny because it was like, she said, Holton said, she said, Holton said, right? And I just sat there and I just wrote. But you know what happened is that's how I learned to do three-way calls, you know, back when Holton was my expert teaching me how to do the business and doing the three-way calls for me. So I just want to encourage everybody, make sure that you take notes. You should always be writing. Never trust your fortune to your memory. Okay. You will forget the thing that will make you wealthy. All right, Mark, looks like you found your slides. Ready to rock and roll?
Yes, I am. And yeah, thanks for wrapping that up. You know, the three-way call is again, you know, the fortunes in the follow-up, and the three-way call is the gold there. So awesome. Okay. We have 2 promotions that we actually started. So the first one's on the right. And that was the one we kicked the month off with, and we kicked the dual team builder off with, and that is We bumped up the CV from 800 to 1,000 for first class, and we bumped up the commissionable volume from 400 to 500 for business. So, and that's still going. That goes throughout the month. Okay, so that was the first one. Yesterday, I was able to launch a new promo. I launched a new promo, and this was a team effort, of course. It's called the Get 5. Get 5. So how does this work? So what you're going to be doing is this. Again, we're in the blue zone, massive sponsoring. So you guys wanted boomerangs, you're going to get boomerangs. So Renee Young, she's got 110 customers. This is probably because she had 110 boomerangs to send. And now she's going to be able to get more boomerangs and get more customers. So the promotion is when you sponsor somebody at coach, business, or first class, you're going to get boomerangs for that. And you're going to get the CV for that too. So we're combining these. And actually, you know what? On the next zone, the red zone, we're going to have even more promotions for you. So, but bottom line is this, when you personally sponsor somebody at coach class, at coach, you're going to get 5 boomerangs. When you sponsor somebody at business class, you're going to get 10 boomerangs. And when you sponsor somebody at first class, you're going to get 15 boomerangs. Now, once you get 5 personally sponsored, this is the part of the Get 5, we're going to double all the boomerangs you've got. Don't stop at 5 though, keep going. And when you get 5 more, we're going to double them again. So you guys have an opportunity to get more boomerangs. You've been asking for it, you've been wanting it, and now you've got it. So this started, now the Get 5 is only started on May 10th, okay? So we'll look back to May 10th, and anybody that got sponsored on May 10th at coach, business, or first class, okay, we're going to give you those boomerangs. So that is the promotion. Anything else to add to that? Mr. T to the G to the R-A-Y.
Nope, you've got it on lock.
Right.
Got it on lock. That's a great promotion. And I just want to encourage everybody, man, get out there. I mean, we're giving you the tools that you need. Hey, Renee Young was saying, man, if I had more boomerangs, I might have 300 customers. Well, Renee, here you go. Here's a way for you to get some more boomerangs, and everybody else, this is how you can get some more boomerangs and accelerate your income during the month of May. So let's rock and roll, folks.
All right. Good deal. So we have some trainings coming up. So these are regional trainings. They're Go Diamond trainings. The first one, though, is a leadership training that I want to talk about. It's on June 7th. June 7th. It's in Atlanta, and it's only for qualified Sapphires and above. Okay, so in the month of May, you got to qualify Sapphire or above. And again, these trainings are all about going diamond, and none other than the master himself, our chairman and CEO, Mr. Holton Buggs, will be doing this leadership training. Okay. And you do not want to miss this. You just got an incredible training this morning. Well, it's going to be that and so much more. So bottom line is this leadership training is a can't miss leadership training. If you want to go diamond, you better qualify Sapphire this month and be at that training with Holton on June 7th in Atlanta. Okay.
Now, hey, Mark, let me jump in on this one, because I remember being at these types of trainings with Holton. And, I got to tell you, folks, the knowledge and the understanding of the business that you're going to get from the ultimate pro in our industry is always going to be progressive. And that's what's really cool. He always teaches what you need to know at each level so you can get to your next level. So, a lot of what we've been teaching under his guidance, right? Because, we're all in sync here. We're not just doing our own thing. We're all in sync with Holton. A lot of what we've been doing up till now has really just been helping you to get to Sapphire, right? It's all about helping you to get to Sapphire, how to lay your foundation and get your business moving in the direction where you can get to that first major level of leadership level of success, leadership rank to Sapphire. But now what's going to happen is, for those who achieve Sapphire, in a full day training, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Holton Buggs, master mentor, is going to teach you how to go diamond. Now, folks, what I want to share with you is this. There are some people in this industry who've been able to create success for themselves, right? But what happens is, you know, you have that expression, it's lonely at the top. Well, for those people, it is lonely at the top because what they haven't really learned to do is to create success around them. But if you take a look at the organizations that Holton has built over the years, systematically, what he's been able to do is to become successful by teaching others to become successful. So it's not, you know, Holton has reached the pinnacle of success not by pushing for it himself. He always, when he puts together these plans, and Mark and I have seen him do it, he sits down and he says, well, how many people do I need to help have success in order for me to have success? And that's what he does. And he creates this incredible duplication. So you gotta be in this training. The things that you're gonna learn are going to change your life. And I know that sounds cliche, but it is the absolute stone cold truth. Your life will change on June 7th. You will go from being an amateur to a pro. You will leave that room very, very clear on what you need to do in order to go diamond, to build a diamond level ibüümerang business, which is a business that will take care of you and your family in a way that people in this industry haven't even yet imagined. Because we're doing something bigger. We're doing things that have never been done in this industry. And believe me, you want to be a diamond and above so that you can fully take advantage of it. So my best advice to you right now, get focused, get uncomfortable, get into a state of all out massive action, and in the remainder of this month, go sapphire. Now, the question some people are going to ask is that enough time? It's absolutely enough time, because I happen to know that there's a gentleman in France who in the first 9 days of this month achieved sapphire to become the first sapphire in France. So if he can do it in 9 days, you can do it in the remaining 20 days of the month. So I want to challenge you guys, if you're not sapphire yet, go ahead and press, because you got to be a qualified sapphire to attend.
Awesome.
That's my story. Stick to it.
That's a great story. And you know, I've been at many of those trainings as well throughout the years. And the cost of this training is $99.95. You know what? People have come to Holton and offered him hundreds of thousands. And in one case, somebody offered him $1 million for him to coach them and to mentor them. Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't do it. And you know, he said, look, you know, and the guy was in, you know, another company, and Holton said, no, you know. So bottom line is this: you're getting, and not only that, the $99.95 includes the general session the next day, and that's the Go Diamond trainings that people are going to be at. So and that's the folks that don't qualify Sapphire, they're going to be at those general sessions. But you guys on this call, number one, you've done the first thing right, and that is get on the flight school on Saturday morning. Number two, you just got trained by one of the best in the industry, Mr. T. Gray. And number three, you're on your way with the promos. So bottom line is this: go ahead, get qualified Sapphire, $99.95, and you'll be able to get those tickets at iboomerangpromos.com. iboomerangpromos.com. You'll see it there. And that's where we're going to start centralizing a lot of the information, is at iboomerangpromos.com. Now, for the folks that are in other parts of the U.S. and also in Atlanta too. So on June 8th, we're going to be over in Atlanta. That, again, is going to be the Go Diamond training for folks, so they can understand exactly what they need to do. It's going to be a little different than the leadership training. Okay, so, but nonetheless, you guys are going to get the information you need. And the cost of that training is $49.95. We are going to go ahead and update the locations, but the tickets are available to get right now. So Atlanta on June 8th, the DMV area, the Baltimore area on June 9th. That's a Sunday. So Sunday in Baltimore, Saturday in Atlanta, Sunday in Baltimore. So East Coast for those two. Then we go to Houston on June 22nd. June 22nd, we will be in Houston. And so go ahead and get yourself set up in Houston on June 22nd. Make sure you get your tickets. And this is going to be a lot of the folks. And again, folks are going to be coming from all over. We'll have folks flying into these events, driving to these events, and we'll have people coming internationally to these events as well. And then we've got Los Angeles on June 23rd. June 23rd. And again, get yourself to these events, get your tickets now. And again, you can get the tickets at iboomerangpromos.com. iboomerangpromos.com. All right. We ready to wrap this thing up?
Absolutely. Everybody make sure you're at one of these events. Get to the one that's closest to you. Qualify Sapphire so you can go to the one in Atlanta and be at the leadership training on that Friday. But absolutely, we want to make sure that everybody gets to one of these trainings. Go ahead and get registered now.
Yes.
The locations are going to come.
You can
Do it now.
You can buy tickets today, right now. Go get them. So rock and roll. All right. And finally, we've got our major event that's happening in August. We're calling it the grand opening, but it's August 30th, and full price is $250. Right now, it's $179.99. That price will be going up. It will be going up. So be sure that you get your tickets for that as well. And again, you can get those tickets at iboomerangevents.com. I'm going to go ahead and update iboomerangpromos.com, and you'll be able to get them there as well. All right. Anything else as we wrap up this training, Mr. T. Gray?
Yes. So I just want to say this again. I mean, people are asking in the chat, well, what about my city? What about my city? Hey, listen, we chose those 4 locations so that people can get to them without having to go too far, right? So for example, someone was just asking, well, what about San Francisco? Go to Los Angeles, right? You know, when someone says, what about New Jersey? Go to Baltimore, okay? So that's how you want to do it. And you know, what about Louisiana? Come to Houston for the regional training event. So that's your mentality, folks. And these events are going to tee you up so that you'll be able to hit your rank advancements and then really enjoy some great things in Las Vegas with us. So you absolutely want to get to these events. Remember, it's systematic. You know, one of the reasons you join this company is for the benefits of our travel product. But the other reason, and really, in my opinion, the biggest reason is so that you can learn, right? So that you can learn what you need to learn in order to be successful and to be the boss of you and to be the person who creates and guides your own destiny. So I encourage you guys, don't take these lightly. You know, we have a saying, and it's beyond true. We can't guarantee you that if you come to all of these events that you're going to be wildly successful. But we can guarantee you one thing, that everyone who is wildly successful comes to all of these events. And so if you want what successful people have, you have to do what successful people do. They're going to be at the events. I can tell you right now, the Cesar Munozes and Amy Sievers and Tanya Mazel Josephs of iboomerang will be at these events, right? You know who won't be at the events? The folks either who aren't in yet or the folks who aren't taking their success as seriously as they should. So make sure you go ahead and register to the event. The location of the event doesn't matter. It's in Atlanta, right? Where in Atlanta? Somewhere in Atlanta, okay? It doesn't matter. You get to Atlanta, go ahead and buy your ticket, and before you even get to Atlanta, we'll tell you exactly where it is. So go ahead and get your tickets today, folks. We encourage you guys to do that. Mark, let's wrap this up. It's been great hanging out with you on Flight School. Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, guys. You've got your flight plan ahead of you. Go ahead, take this flight plan and get up in the air and start flying towards Sapphire. And if you're at Sapphire, start flying towards Diamond. We love you guys.
There you go. We love you guys. Have a great Saturday. Get those three-way calls going.